Hi, my name is Pamela Mpishi. This video is probably going to be quite controversial, but it's a video that needs to be heard. Should we go Dutch? What do you think? I have a lot of things to say about that, so stay tuned. What does the term actually, should we go Dutch, mean? It means when two people are on a date and they pay 50-50. And where does it originate from? This term originates obviously from the Dutch people. As we know, Dutch people are quite fast forward in everything. It is the Dutch people who first legalized drugs, cannabis, who first had same-sex marriage. They're quite fast forward, but being fast forward does not always necessarily mean you have found the key to happiness and eternal success. It can actually have the opposite effect. So without further ado, what do I think about all this? Well, I personally think when a guy asks a girl out on a date, the guy already counted the costs. And if he didn't, he is a freeloader, and you shouldn't be with a freeloader to start with. You know, the Dutch people invented this term. Well, they probably didn't invent it themselves, but it's called the Dutch shall we go Dutch, because they are known for this kind of dating, 50-50. You know, one time I was looking to buy a house in Holland, and the agency that was helping me actually even advised me and said, look, if you're going to buy something that's going to make you money, buy a singles apartment, because there's a big market for it now. We have very few families in the city. Most of the people are single. And why do you think is that? Because I have a lot of Dutch friends and they do want to get married.
Well, women are better educated now, aren't they? We don't need men necessarily to give us an identity. A lot of women out there even earn more than their husbands. So it's just a world where women are just, better affluent.
Now, let me give you one tool for dating. If you are out on a date with a guy and he asked you out, and I am presuming it's the guy who initiated this date, not you. If you have read any of the things that I've written, or if you've listened to any of my videos, you should listen to my videos. I have a lot of videos. And you will know that I never encourage a girl to ask a guy out. The guy should be the first one to initiate. When you start a relationship, it's the guy who should initiate the telephone calls. It's the guy who should initiate the dates. You should leave the guy to do all these things. Why? Because it is about that whole hunting thing. It's what they do. It's the thrill of the catch. And if you deprive him of the thrill of the catch, he will never treat you like his goddess. Now look.
In the Bible, we have Moses, who is running away from Pharaoh. He's just killed an Egyptian, and now he's running away from Pharaoh. And he comes upon a group of girls at a well getting water, and they're being harassed by some shepherds. And Moses, without even thinking about his own safety, because obviously he's alone and this is a group of shepherds, he stands up for those girls, and the shepherds, they leave the girls alone, and the girls manage to get some water. So what exactly do you think Moses is doing right there and then? Because he probably even already spotted one of those girls and fancied her. He is flexing. You need to give the man moments of flexing. It's inbred in them. If a man does not get an opportunity to flex, you do not give him that animal instinct to fight for you, to protect you, then he's always gonna be out there with his antennas open looking for somebody else he can protect. That's why people sometimes get so amazed that a man leaves a woman who is like prominent, beautiful, articulate, intelligent, and they find that he is with the au pair, or is with the nanny, or is with some girl from the compounds and who cannot even read and write, because she gave him that sense of the knight in shining armor, and he can brandish his sword. Finally, he has found somebody that he can protect. Don't go Dutch. If you want, you can even suggest it, but it is a no.
When a guy invites you for dinner, the moment that you start fighting with him that you're also going to pay half and you demand to pay half, you take away his ability to flex.
Me, Tarzan, and you, Jane. Yeah.
Men want to be with women that they feel they can take care of. The moment you start fighting to pay half of the bill, you are saying to him, yes, I realize that I need a husband, because for some reason God created that, just created human beings, that a woman cannot have children on her own. I need a husband because I need to have children and I need to settle down, and it's just the thing to do. But to be honest, I don't need you to take care of me. I can take very good care of me. Listen, even if you earn more money than him, even if you have a better job than him, don't let this scare this man off. Let him pay for you the first few dates. When you are just dating, let him pay for you. And there will be times when maybe the guy is busy and he says to you, book a restaurant. If you are used to eating in 5-star hotels and 2 Michelin star restaurants, and this guy is probably not well to do, go a little bit lower. Book in a place where you know that he'll be able to afford to pay, not in a place where he'll be embarrassed and he's going to ask you maybe to help him out. Be a woman that he feels he can take care of. Be a woman that he feels he can be the knight in shining armor for. Going Dutch on the first, second, third date is a no. Don't do that. Men have not evolved. Men are very simple. You know, my husband actually told me, I keep saying to people, I can't believe that we're together for 19 years. My husband said to me, on the third date, I already knew that I was going to marry you. I said, how? He said, because on the third date, you showed up, you had 3 different handbags. Every time you showed up, you had a different handbag. And on the third date, I thought, oh, I'm going to marry her. She's just like my mom. She's coquette like my mom, because his mom also apparently loved dressing up, loved handbags. He said, the first time I came to your flat, when you invited me to your flat, I knew that I was going to marry you. I said, why? He said, because when I came into your kitchen and I saw all those spices on the shelf, I thought, oh, she's not only coquette, she can cook too. This is the woman I'm going to marry. We complicate things when men are actually very simple. Men are very competitive. When I look at my sons, my sons, one is 9 and one is 8. They compete about everything. At school, they compete in football, in rugby, in cricket, everything, even just everything for my sons is a competition. But when he is with a woman that he wants to marry, a woman that he wants to partner with, he is not looking for somebody to compete with. When Moses helped Zipporah to get the water and get rid of those shepherds that were harassing her and her sisters and her friends, do you know what she did? She went home and told her father Jethro about it. By the time Moses arrived in their village, the scene had already been set, because Moses had already proved himself to be Tarzan. Zipporah had gone home and told her father about the guy who had helped them, and her father already knew this was a guy who could be Tarzan for my daughter. So the scene had already been set. Ladies, listen to me. It's not about being a freeloader if you're a woman and you do not pay half. There's so many other things that you can do. You can send him a bottle of wine. You can send him some chocolates. The next day you can send a beautiful note to say thank you. But you do not start fighting with a guy to go Dutch. It doesn't matter if you have more money than him, if you have a better job than him, and if he asks you out, he has counted the cost. And if he hasn't counted the cost, he is not the man that you want to be with. You do not want to be with a guy who cannot even pay your dinner for you. I went one time on a date. I've only been on a date actually. I went a date. I mean, I go out with friends and we pay 50-50. But if somebody asks me for a date, they're paying for it. Yeah, I went out one time for a date with this man in Holland, and he was really good looking and he was really funny. And I remember the bill came, and he paid really his half, and he pushed the bill, and I sweetly took out my bag and I paid half. And let me tell you something, that was the first and the last date that we ever had. He kept calling me. We had so much fun, Pam. I thought we bonded. I thought we were on the same page. Why don't you want a second date? There is no way I am going out on a second date with a man who makes me go Dutch. Do you understand? Because that's not a man. That's not a man. And you, when you start asking a man who has asked you for dates that you want to go Dutch, you lose your rights, your feminine. You lose your femininity. He is not looking for a body. He is looking for his Jane. Men are still Tarzans. He is still looking for that woman he can swing for and go and rescue. It doesn't matter if you're more prominent than him, smarter than him. Just play the game. Let him feel that you can be the woman that he can take care of. That is why so many women nowadays are single. They don't know how to play the game. And some, even if they know how to play the game, they refuse to play the game, and then they come to me and they're crying, Pam, why am I still single? And they're so beautiful. The problem is that the men have become, the men have been stripped of their trousers, and the women are the ones wearing the trousers now. The men have become, I don't know what they've become. And they're confused, actually. They're confused by the men now, by the women, because the women don't want the men to open the doors for them. They don't want the men to pay for dinner for them. So what do they want? Men are utterly confused. Don't go Dutch. It's a no, no, no. Don't go Dutch, and don't ask him out. Let him fight for you. Let him feel when he's walking with you that you are a prize, that he fought for you, or something amazing, that you're just exclusive. Let him ask you out. And if he doesn't ask you out, he is not the one. If he doesn't ask you out, he is not into you. Don't try to help him out. He's not shy. He's just not into you. A lot of women confuse the indifference of men with something else, like being shy, being secure. A man is never insecure when he wants a girl. And when he wants a girl, he's never going to let her even pay half. Yeah? If that man is asking you to pay half, he's a freeloader. Don't have another date with him. Stay tuned for my next one. This is Pam. Peace up. God bless you.